and to Mr. Tom Holroyd from the Chimayananda Mission. So as always, to set the tone and to bring us into another space, we begin with an invocation, and Monica will lead us in the invocation. I was asked to give a very brief recap of what we did last week. We had the assignment to interview someone whose background and life very different from our own, and to inquire into what makes them happy. And also to see how what makes them happy, how it affects us. And we found out, we had discovered a very wide variety of reasons for happiness. The auto rickshaw driver, Gina, the chai boiler, man in the street, joy in children's success, joy in a good job done, joy in service, when you can give service to someone, and joy in a smile or a sunny day. So a great variety of things that brought joy. Lovely exercise to be able to open our hearts and listen intently and hear from the heart and notice how that affects us. Then we read chapter 1 of Making of Man, The Art of Man Making by Swami Chimayananda, and the first chapter, Why Study the Gita. So Swami Chimayananda highlights the urgent need for a culture of individual self-development. That it depends on each and every one of us to raise the tempo, the quality, and the beauty of national life. To lift not only ourselves, but our nation. Happiness and upliftment rest on the individuals with strong values that serve the greater whole. And Swami Chimayananda addresses us all, but particularly the youth. of an ideal that supplies constant motivation and guidance for the dynamic action that is needed. This requires a special mental and intellectual balance. So we talked a lot about balance in field 1 and 2, yoga class, balancing. And the Gita helps us with this in every respect. It's the how-to training manual. And how to discriminate, how to discern, and how to live through the confusion that we face. Yeah, so that was what we read. And then we had a very in-depth and wonderful summary of the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. No mean feat to summarize it, that Mr. Sir Oberoi from Chimayananda Mission highlighted the systematic way in which the knowledge is unfolded in the Gita. And the self-mastery is attained. But what about how we fight the inner war of our tendencies, our habits, patterns of mind? And the wonderful thing that came out of that also is that the Gita speaks to us in every worldly situation. It's a Dharma Shastra. It speaks to us if we need advice on what to eat, if we need advice in relationships. Everything is contained in the Gita. But it's also a Moksha Shastra, which means it leads us to the final understanding. And we study on, and hopefully it will be a joyful journey of discovery for all of us. So now we need to have one member of each team speak for 1 minute. So we will have to keep quite a good management on time. Maybe somebody in the group can keep time and just quietly mention to the person who is speaking that time is running out. Yeah, so that we keep time. And one member of each team is going to tell us what they found out from interviewing somebody 80 years and older. Yeah? So let's begin. So we just start with, just start here and go around, yeah? Want to start on the other side? Okay, so let's not waste any time. So we'll start in this group. Decide on who's going to share, and then here's the mic. Please speak loudly because we're on webcast, yeah? So, who's speaking from this group? We want to decide, okay, has any group decided? Is anybody ready? This group is ready? All right, very good. Okay.
I don't know what the age was of that person, but initially there is a old age. Once I was sitting on my near my PC with my paintings in my hand, and that day that uncle came in and asked me that do you paint? And I said yes. So initially he told me a story regarding his own dad who used to paint his own photographs in front of a mirror, and he used to paint his own portraits and all. So he asked me that, do you paint portraits as well? I said that no, I don't. So initially he just took my sketchbook and he was going through it. So he said that there were different sort of things that I found in it. Then I realized one thing that whenever there is a person who's more than experienced to you, would generally see the things that are in your mind. And even though those paintings are not even describing anything, I guess none of you would understand what I was trying to tell with those paintings. But that guy was actually able to understand what it was all about and how it was going to represent each and every moment that I had lived in that particular painting. So initially, I realized that a lot of things are we all should learn from our elders because they have been experienced. Though they might be wrong at some places, but that doesn't mean that we shouldn't consider their experiences and the things that they all share with us.
Which group is ready?
Who's next?
Okay, so this is a really short thing because obviously no one's ready here. So I just spoke to this really nice man. We were going on, like I was out for a morning walk, and I just spoke. We just because we had this assignment, we just spoke to him, and he said that I asked him what was his happiest moment. He told every day is a happy moment for me because I'm getting up and coming for a walk. And he just comes to the park and he has his own happiness club there. And he's just unhappy with the people around and he's exercising, doing his yoga and all those things. So that's it. That's his happy moment. He's enjoying his life.
Participate.
Hi everyone. I actually spoke to my complex's security guard. Surprisingly, he got the job at the age of 80, which was really shocking for me. And all these months when I've seen him there, I just wonder why is he doing this? I mean, of course, it's a necessity for him because he has to feed his family, he has to take care of a lot of things. But that was something which always kind of bothered me, a bit. So the other day, when I was standing outside my house, I just started chatting up with him, and I just said, okay, you listen to a lot of music. I mean, is this something which you've always been interested in, and all of that? So he just, I mean, from that was just the starting of the conversation, and I just started talking about where he's from, what he does. So he's from, Karnal, if anyone knows where that is. Before Karnal even was developed. I mean, of course, he was born there when I don't know. I mean, I didn't do the math, but yeah. So it was just really interesting to see him coming to someone's complex or house or whatever you want to call it, and sitting out there in the night, whether it's summer or winter, and just being there as a protector. Whereas my personal opinion is of course that he probably won't be able to protect anybody, if something, God forbid, does happen. But him coming down there and making that effort and sitting there for a sum of a few thousand rupees, it's truly inspiring because he's still willing to do that. And I also like that he still sits outside and he'll listen to his music every single day so that at least he can, enjoy what he's doing. So yeah, that's all. Thanks. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Tanvi, and I didn't talk to any stranger. I talked to my grandfather. He is 93-year-old, and so he has started forgetting a lot now. So technically, I am stranger to him. So every time I meet him, he will sometimes think I'm his granddaughter, sometimes think I'm his daughter, sometimes think I'm his sister. So every time he will greet me in a different way. So last week when I went home, I told him that I'm your daughter, granddaughter, not your daughter. He said, oh, acha, acha. When I asked him that, like, what, slightly I asked him what makes you happy since, you are so old and you've seen it all, you've experienced it all. So he plainly gave me an answer that, आपको देख के ही खुश हो जाता हूँ. That when I see you, I'm happy. And then I thought that he makes me every time, how do we know who I am and how to become happy? So I thought that small things is like we should not find happiness in bigger things like I got a job so I'm happy. We should look for happiness in small things. Like even just seeing me he's becoming happy. So that's what I learned that we should become happy from smaller things like, and not every time look for happiness in larger things. Thank you.
So the person I interviewed was my grandfather also. So the amazing thing about him is that he's 91 and he is still very active and he's more active than I am. I asked him, what is your source of happiness and strength? So it is amazing. He's never eaten any fast food and he eats really good food and he's spiritually and religiously very strong. So, and he lives by a code of conduct. So the thing which gives him happiness is the way he leads his life. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Neha. So like Prashant and Tanvi, I just spoke with my grandfather. He's 93 and he too is actually very fit. So I was talking to him over the phone and I asked him what makes him really happy. And he said that when he sees his grandchildren actively engaged in something that is passionate to him too. So my cousin is a footballer and he was so happy just talking about how they share the same passion. So he always says that he talks so much to him about the passion that he shares, and that what is also gives him happiness. From this what I learned was that we should really take interest in our hobbies because that's what's going to help us in the end as well. Thank you. I spoke to a woman and I asked her what is her happiest moment. She told me she's a fantastic cook. Whenever my husband praises me, it will be my happiest moment. So then I thought I should cook well. As well as my husband should also cook well, then I can appreciate him too. That's what I did.
So I spoke to my father's elder sister. She's 80 years old. And so the first 10 minutes of our conversation was not about how do you stay happy and all this. The first 10 minutes of our conversation was about the IPL. And she is an avid follower of cricket. She spoke about Chennai Super Kings and all the team members and who was the favorite player and the strike rate. And she has an amazing interest towards sport and sporting activities. And then we spoke about whether I am investing in mutual funds or not. She has a great knowledge about all the activities and all the things that are going on in the world. She's very modern, and she'll never, make me feel that the conversation is happening between someone who is 25 and someone who is 80. She has this, young at heart attitude towards everything, and that made me forget that I'm talking to an 80-year-old person. That in itself was such a happy and such an exciting conversation that I'll remember it for quite some time. Thank you.
spoke to my father-in-law, who is going to be turning 82 next month. And he's one man who's always lived to see other people succeed. He's already taught everyone, he's always tried to bring everyone on the same page. And he still tries to do that even when he's 80 and retired for the past 20 years. Whatever he has sources, he tries to pull people in the family, people in the community. And not just for financial reasons, also if someone wants to live their life on their own terms and they're not given that opportunity to that, he makes it a point of that. So just helping people, even if it will be of getting two people married or from different communities, he really does it and likes to do it. So it actually got almost, I would say, 20 couples married so far without the parents knowing. I'll support you. So he likes people to do, he encourages people to do what they want to do, and that's what keeps him happy. But if he's helping someone to live the life the way they want to live. Yeah, anybody else? We left out in the group. So I have a story very similar to other people. I spoke to my grandfather who's 92. I asked him what makes him happy, and he said, when you make me my favorite cup of tea. So that's a ritual for me. I make it twice in a day for him, and that makes him happy. Lovely, lots of different experiences. Learning or having some younger person listen is a happy moment. And then somebody is happy naturally just by walking in the park and feeling alive. Yeah? Happiness to have a job, the 80-year-old security guard. What a beautiful thing to be able to have a job and feel useful. So being useful, creating happiness. Yes, and of course, grandparents, when they see their grandchildren, they light up. And keeping healthy and a code of life, like Trishank's grandfather, an order in one's life. And this is what the Gita is about, how to align ourselves to the greater order, and that creates the happiness, the contentment within. Having hobbies, keeping active, keeping current with the affairs, keeps one engaged and happy and feeling like part of the community, the whole. Yeah? And then gratitude, just being grateful for a cup of tea. How beautiful to be happy when your grandchild makes you some tea. Yeah? So I know I'm a granny, so I know soon you'll be able to interview me. But all these lovely insights from people that are much older than you, and how important it is to be present and to notice that when you give somebody time of day, just for a few seconds to listen to them or to acknowledge them, what joy there is in that. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for all the experiences. So now we carry on with the program, and we're going to read one chapter. Each group will have somebody read one, paragraph, sorry, from the book.
please take out your books and read along, because without your books, it doesn't make as much impact. Yeah, you need to be part of the conversation. So please, we'll start here. Shubham, are you gonna read? Yeah. Paragraph 1. So, as you heard from Anil, you're going to read the chapter and then spend 10 minutes in discussion with your mentor and with yourself, and bring up questions, and then Mr. Oberoi will be there to answer your questions. Yeah? So let's begin. Please speak loudly so we can hear you.
No worries, no worries. It's not. Can I start?
Yes.
It's not often that the youth of a nation has to face such harsh situation and terrible challenges as we have now in our country. And yet it should be recognized as a condition which no backward nation can avoid when it's tried to rewrite its own history. These are the pains of the new birth. No new birth is ever possible without the accompanying pains. Since this is a natural condition through which the youth must march forward, we may properly look back into our culture to discover available techniques we may have for reinforcing ourselves and getting the necessary strength, stamina, and daring to face the national deconstruction challenges.
Very similar situations depicted in the Mahabharata times, and a message to the youth had been given by subtle thinkers of the era to the despondent youth of those times. Arjuna represents the world of youth, and the Bhagavad Gita given out through Arjuna thunders forth the solution to the world outside. He is placed against the background of the din and roar of a self-annihilating civil war in this country. The opening chapter of the Bhagavad Gita paints for us a confusing atmosphere of strife and tension, of sweat and dust, of din and roar, natural on every war front. Apart from the clamoring sounds and the rattling noises of the impatient army standing face to face, we are also given a peek into the tension created in the subjective minds of the people by the tragic outer situation. The challenge is not only outside man, but it springs forth from within his own self. The disturbances created by the mental stress and strain churn within the man of action, and he becomes to feel lost. In fact, this inner chaos gets itself projected to express as the outer disturbances around him. Examples are many about us today to illustrate the scientific truth of this statement. Many of our strikes, whether they be in the industrial concerns or in the universities or even in our administration itself, all of them ultimately erupt from the inner tensions felt, which were restrained and suppressed for a long period of time in the past.
This inner shattering of the psychological personality in man is projected also vividly in the characterization of Arjuna, that in the Bhagavad Gita, the Pandava prince represents the confused man of the world, the disillusioned youth of all time. The case history of Arjuna is recorded with scientific precision in the opening chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. As the commander-in-chief of the Pandava forces, this great warrior who had proved his prowess many a times earlier, comes to the war front and reviews the array of the enemy lines. He discovers that the unholy hordes who are championing the unjust messages of pure covetousness and lust for power are more powerful. The Kaurav forces are larger in number, better equipped, and more efficiently manned. Compared with these forces of relentlessness, materialism, the Pandav forces, representing the Sanev and nobler values of life, are weak, incompetent, and apparently inefficient. This practical calculation sinks the warrior in Arjun into the state of utter dejection, psychological state of impotency, and hysteria. When one is convinced that one must fight against certain obnoxious tendencies, and yet one finds that under the circumstances one dares not to strike, the resultant mental condition of painful disillusionment is called dejection.
Arjuna is represented in the Bhagavad Gita as an enthusiastic soldier who had reached this benumbing state of utter dejection.
In such a state of dejection, an intelligent man of action discovers in himself many a logical argument, each one apparently righteous to convince himself that he should run away from the field of his duty and positive action. This sense of escapism is detrimental to any great achievement, but all psychological cowards often unconsciously live this life of escapism. At all such moments, human intellect has got the ability in itself to seek and to discover false justification supporting its own self-escapism.
Arjuna argues that he cannot fulfill his duties towards his nation, and he brings forth a chain of empty arguments, all of them extremely sentimental and highly emotional. On the whole, Vyasa the author demonstrates in Arjuna the total breakup of the human personality under the stress and strain of his own immediate environment.
I am here deliberately choosing my vocabulary in order to bring home to my listeners the irrespectable parallel that we find in the condition today around us. The youth of our country are psychologically going through this Arjuna state of inner collapse.
After our independence, the new generation, conscious of their newfound freedom, dreamt of a progressive nation, moving ahead with determination and vision to make the people self-sufficient and even prosperous. The youth, intelligent as they are, finding themselves a surge of confidence that they can achieve what they want in this country by exploring and exploiting its own natural resources. And yet, at all levels, they find their hopes shattered, their visions belied, and their ambitions thwarted. The negative forces around them seem to gather more strength at every moment, and naturally a sense of disillusionment, verging on the point of hysteria and despondency overwhelms the youth. They become at moments violent and at other moments too despondent to care what is happening around them. Their minds corrupted, intellects drooping in despondency, physically they come to live an unholy and unnatural life of excesses and shameless corruption, justifying everything that they are doing in a sequence of noisy logic. This we find today among the youth all around the world.
At this critical moment, where Arjuna all alone, he would have certainly in his dejection and despair run away from his post of duty, allowing all negative forces in the country a free play to sabotage the constructive plans and to blast all the secret hopes of a national revival. Luckily for the Pandava friends, there was the time, the great master Lord Krishna, to resurrect Arjuna's mind from the abyss of despair into the very peaks of hope and the warmth of a clear vision.
Though a proficient man, due to his mental agitation, the great warrior in Arjuna becomes temporarily inefficient. Great achievements are earned not through proficiencies alone, but achievements are rewards of efficiency. Today, all around us, we found in our country, we have through education stepped up the general proficiency in our youth. But their capacity to apply their knowledge in the field of their activity is definitely at low ebb. Whether gathered knowledge adds up to form proficiency, the ability to translate the knowledge into actions in the appropriate field is called efficiency.
We are at present a nation highly proficient, no doubt, but alas, extremely inefficient. Arjuna, the proficient warrior,
in the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita demonstrates himself to be inefficient to meet the challenge due to his subjective mental rupture. Lord Krishna, through his divine song, treats the shadowed personality of his student and rehabilitates his personality. And we find that the dejected Arjuna of the first chapter rises up in the last chapter with a newfound determination to act and fulfill his duties towards the world. This mental rehabilitation process is the theme of the Bhagavad Gita, and in our national revival, we shall need no other knowledge so urgently as this great secret technique. Hence, I claim that the Gita is a scripture of the teenagers of the nation.
Under the earth's state, man sinks into a hysterical condition, and at such a time he loses his capacity to discriminate correctly what should be done and what should not be done. Temporarily, his sanity is robbed from him by the rising fumes of his own confusions in his bosom, and he comes to act madly, sometimes suicidal, and often tragic to society. In our country, I need not illustrate the working of the psychological law as we find so often our own national transport vehicles burned down, our own municipal waste destroyed, when people lose their discrimination at such moments of psychological disturbance in them.
In short, at such tragic moments when man loses his ability to think correctly and abdicates his power of judgment, he, benumbed by worldly problems around, staggers under the crushing load of his own self-created miseries. This was the condition of the student in the Bhagavad Gita, and the educational treatment given to him constitutes the 18 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. The immediate urgency for mastering this knowledge for us as a nation is now obvious and evident.
So thank you. And please start the discussion in your group. We have 10 minutes, and then we'll have 10 minutes in which time you can ask Mr. Oberoi questions on the topic, or if not, on anything to do with the Gita. Yeah? On the topic, okay. There's no end to questions. Okay, on the topic, yeah? So please start the discussion. Maybe somebody can make a few notes or be the spokesperson for your group, or several people in your group. So are you ready with your questions and any comments? So comments and questions for discussion, yeah? So who'd like to go first? Are you ready? Abhishek, you have a question, yeah? So speak up loudly.
So my question is, Arjuna, a great warrior in the presence of Lord Krishna, behaves differently, like the weaknesses are more prominent, which I feel if the Lord Krishna was not there, he would have behaved differently because the responsibilities of entire kingdom was on his soldiers, and so he succumbed to the pressure that arose because Lord Krishna was there. So relating that to the present situation where we are, in the presence of a support system, if there is someone in front of me taking the charge, I'll also feel like my weaknesses are coming out and I'll try to defend myself upon him. So my question, so like if Lord Krishna was not there, how Arjuna had behaved? And the entire responsibilities of the war, the hero of the war, is Lord Krishna in this case, instead of Arjuna, who was a great warrior. So, so in one line, shall we always depend on the support system, or we take the charge upon us? That is my question.
We are always dependent on the support system. Whatever we are today, each one of you and me, myself, and all that is a product of the past. Whatever your exposure, your upbringing, your education, your training, your experience has been, that final you are the sum of that basically. So even if we behave in a situation like that, like we become indecisive or we become, lack of determination and all that, being a great warrior when he was brought in front of his own grandsire and the guru, and then he has a emotional dilemma which was born out of ego and attachment. So that created a confusion in him. So that's why Lord Krishna's help was there. But if Lord Krishna is not, there's a lot of joys and madness in life and all that. Perhaps that's why you are in silence and all that. This becomes a guiding point for you. And that is why the importance of next chapter is the storm of the Gita. That there is a lot said and all that. It defines what is mind, what is intellect, and what is the difference between mind and intellect, and why we become, when at the mental level, we become indecisive and we cannot decide when it's a faculty of the intellect to judge, to decide, to determine. So that's why one should know what is the highest faculty in me as a person. If I am conscious of the four personalities, the body, mind, and intellect and spirit, at least forget the spirit for the time being, but at least the intellect is the higher. So I should really sharpen it and take the guidance out of that. And then there are books and mentors and similar. That's why we need support. Otherwise, why the need of the schools and colleges and teachers and all other? There is always support.
That is a part of the learning process. That is very much
process.
But at the moment in the war front, Krishna would have at a point of time leave Arjuna to take control of the charge. So that was my point. Thank you.
Else?
So it's mentioned here that the youth they become at moments wild and at other moments too despondent to care for what's happening, and their minds are corrupted, intellects drooping, and it's an unnatural life of excesses and shameless corruption. So I wanted to know: is the situation the situation that's described here, is it actually that bad, or is it taken to that level so that we can say that as youth we have to get out of it, or what is the surrounding or the support system as bad as they have mentioned here?
The good and bad, right and wrong, always has been in the time of movement. You see the whole history of mankind. And there always have been right people and the wrong people. So basically, we should not get depressed and dejected with that and all that. If we are, trained like that and a good knowledge and all that and good exposure and all that, good guidance and all that basically, and we are available for to receive that knowledge. So if we, then naturally we will be always overcoming all those types of problems of rejection, frustration and disappointment and all that. It's not some external problem. Overall and converse good for the right and wrong basically, but it's always a mental problem. As I said last time also, there is always conflict in the human mind between knowledge and ignorance, light and darkness, right and wrong, and so on. Spirit and matter basically. So if we are very clear, if there is a clarity of thinking and all that, then we side with the right, and right doesn't mean only for me and for my family. Which is for the totality, for the many people, for the society, for the country, for the humanity basically. That is right. It's not to prove a person who is right. Question is what is right. That's more important.
Thank
peace. Yes.
Are there any other questions or comments? Anything you'd like to add? We still have.
So the topic is happiness, and the title of this class is also happiness and value. I think let's take again about that. Lot of all of you explained and described some events, experiences with you, with your elders and all that. They do create a lot of joy. That's true. As I said last time, actually, first thing is let's know what is happiness. What is happiness? A peaceful, mental peaceful state is happiness. Whatever we do, I take a cup of coffee, ice cream, I meet a person, I go to the party, I go to the cinema, I study, I don't study, I travel, I don't travel. What are we seeking in life? Happiness, right? Now, why happiness? I have said last time also, why happiness? Since this is our essential nature, this is essential nature when I say, that means our inborn nature of a human being is to be happy. That's why none of us says, why I'm happy for a longer time when I'll be unhappy. So, but we do get happiness from small things of events, experiences. When the body contacts things and things, we get happiness. When the mind gets some conducive atmosphere, some kindness and all that, on the same the clarity of thinking, we get happiness. Or sometimes the same ideas, the concept with the people and all that, we also get happiness. But this happiness isn't really lasting. It comes, it goes. It comes, it goes. Whereas we are always seeking consistent, continuous, eternal, infinite happiness. There is no doubt about it. Whereas we want to run away from the things which make us unhappy, and we want to go in the direction which make us happy. What they call in Sanskrit, Dukh Nivriti and Sukh Pravritti. The Dukh Nivriti means we always want to run away, whether it's a friend or a neighbor or your parent or brother, sister, your teacher, mentor, employer. If it's an unpleasant experience, you don't want to really come across again and again that. You want to avoid that. But if it's a pleasant, it makes you happy and all that, you're good. So then naturally you like to be. So you go into that direction. Now, question is, we should all do that, what we are doing. All of you said very, very nicely, all of the things are very good. But my point is only they give only the crumbs of joy, the flickers of joy. The question is then finding, what are we seeking? I study or don't study, I get a good job or I don't get a good job. Really, can I maintain my equanimity of mind? If I'm always at the level of the body, mind and intellect, then there will always be ifs. If I get, then I'll be happy. If and then the whole scheme of life keeps on moving only on it and then. But if really I do, it doesn't mean I should not do. There's no running away like Arjuna from the life. I have to do whatever I do. That's why the goal should be very, very clear. Once the goal is decided, and then I should try to achieve that. But still, I should not be dependent for my happiness on that. The moment I think I will be happy if I get it and all that, then what will happen? If I don't get that, then I will not be happy. And the result doesn't depend on your actions only. The result depends on so many things. Out of your effort, result can be the same, result can be better, result can be lesser, and there may be no result also. And all efforts, whatever putting and all that, that's called Daivam. This Daivam means some unforeseen factors also, which is really impacting our result. So that's why what we are doing and all that, we should do our best and leave the rest. But at the same time, try to be happy all the time. I'm not going to talk very exhaustively about spirit and all that, which is really the whole study of Vedanta. But one has to choose to be happy. And that is called cultivate optimistic pattern of thoughts. Negative thoughts dissipate all over the energy and all that. So one should be very clear in the mind that whatever it will, my expectations are met or not met, I will choose to be happy. To be happy, one has to be true. To be happy, one has to be on the way to be happy. It's a journey. One doesn't look for the only destination, I will be happy and all that. Every movement, every meeting, every thought which should be cultivated like that. And definitely, a sense of gratitude does help. And unnecessary brooding on things which do not matter, it also helps a lot. So I think one should try to be happy beyond all our small human experiences which we do from that body, mind, and spirit.
Thank you so much. Some of you that have been in the yoga class might have experienced also at the end of the yoga class, I don't know if it's because it's the end of torture, but happiness for no reason, just being. Yeah?
Yes.
Happiness for absolutely no reason.
Totally.
And this is one of the reasons why we do this practice, so that we have at least a little bit of chance to feel it. Yeah? So anyhow, I have to give you the assignment for next week. And it's a little long, so you might want to note it down. And also, I think it would be a good idea if the program office sends a copy of it. So what Anil sir would like you to do is to create a circle in your cohort of 7 students. So you'll have to form a group of 7 and encourage one person to be a facilitator who will ensure that each person is involved and is given an equal opportunity to express. Choose a team leader who will keep the meeting on track. Choose a timekeeper who will manage time. Choose a scribe who will note down. That's why I said we will send you this, but maybe in the meantime you could form your group of 7, and then the final instructions we'll send you again. Yeah. A scribe who will note down what you share. Conduct a 60-minute meeting with each person will share what is one thing about me that makes me very happy, what matters most to me, what are my dreams for the future, what am I most concerned about. Hold this discussion and then note down, what did I experience? What did this teach me about sharing and listening? What helped and what came in the way? And then write a blog. So it's a long instruction, so it will be sent to you so that you have a format by which you can conduct your meeting. And so are there any further questions or any comments that? Yes, the blog is for your own benefit, because when you have to actually put something down on paper, you have to inquire a little more deeply. Yeah. So of course the discussion is in the group, and the scribe will keep a note of what is said, but the actual experience is your own. Yeah, so you need to write it down. Good. So I think we'll conclude there. I know there's a lot of action happening very shortly. And We have to first chant the closing prayer, and then the student council will lead us in the pledge.
Om Purnamada Udachyate Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
And now the student council, please lead in the pledge.
Guys, please settle down for 5 minutes.
Can I have you all sit down, please? And before the MBA Council takes the pledge, I will take a roll call of all the people who are here right after the MBA Council. So please don't go immediately.
Guys, we'll take the pledge now. All please stand. And please be silent. Thank you. Please repeat after me. We stand as one family.
We stand as one family.
Bound to each other. With love and respect. We serve as an army. Courageous and disciplined. Ever ready to fight. Against all low tendencies. And false values. Within and without us. We live honestly. The noble life of sacrifice. And service. Producing more than what we consume. And giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace. To keep us on the path of virtue, courage and wisdom. May thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities. Give us the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat.
I'll take the attendance, and once your name is called out, you answer your roll call, you can start leaving. The faculty may of course leave. Thank you. Can I have you all sit down for a quick second so that I can see who's raising their hands? If I miss your name, then don't come to me saying that you missed my name. Please have a seat for 1 quick second. Yes, I have all that. Everybody. Amit Singh, Sandeep Kumar, Mahima Minocha, Sanat, Mahima Minocha is here. Sanat Nathuria is here. Lokesh Dagar. Yeah. So once I call your name, you can start reading. Parthasarathy is not here. Shruti. Okay, you can stay. Shubhangi has some announcement to make after. Shruti Srivastava, Kinshuk, Rohit, Amit Sahu, Neha, Rupam, Ashwini, and Tarini. Karan, Stuti, Ravi, Tushar, Tushar, Lakshmi, Lakshmi Pradhan, Kuldeep, Shubham Sharma, Abhishek Chandra, Anisha, Tanvi, Shubhangi, Arnav, Pooja, Rohit, Indrajit, Parul, Harish, Dhruv, Dhruv is not here, Soumya, Isha, Isha Anudeep and Marna Bhai, Abhilash, Gaurav Dixit, Kush, Shul Tomar, Vivek, Gautam, Sumit, Hari, Monica, Malay and Pranjal, Ankit Kamli, Anil, Anil Sangwan, Shubham Singhal, Jibin, Anju, Anju is not here. Shivangi Divya, Avnish and Sanjay, Trisha, Prati, Asta, Raghu, Saloni, Anandita, Shivangi, Diksha, Mohit, Himanshu, Rishabh Kalia, Surbhi, Praharsh, Kaushik, Richa, Mansi, Priya and